ready to go. All right. Hello. Episode 9 of the Age Trainer podcast. It's been a little while. We took a break. We've been casting Overwatch League for a while now, and time has just flown by. Of course, my name is Jaws, or Jack, and that is Rose, or Necra. Your choice. Doesn't matter. But yeah, welcome to episode number 9. There's been a lot of news, but we thought we'd recap the most important things that have happened over the last couple of weeks. Rose, new set coming out soon. Lost Origin / Lost Abyss, which is the Japanese version. It's like out in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy to me because you think about the fact that we just had the Pokemon Go set release like 2 weeks ago, and now we're already looking at another release for another expansion of the TCG. But of course, like as Pokemon Go is one of the more special sets, this is more of, I guess, is this the final one? I feel like we're nearing the final Sword and
Yeah.
Shield set release.
This is the second to last set in Sword and Shield before Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, we don't know what the last set is going to be called. However, there is mad speculation on what like character rares and whatnot are going to be carried over to the last set, because of course there's like 15 Japanese sets per like Western set, which is awesome. You know, to be fair, actually, is that awesome? I'd run out of money very quickly if that was the case, if that happened over here. But it is cool to see them like amalgamated in the English sets. But there is a ton of character rares we're currently missing. I guess we'll kind of start with just a few bits and pieces for Lost Origin. So a Pokemon that I feel like we've not seen in a long time. Kyurem. Have we seen Kyurem in a long time? I don't know. I feel like it's been at least a few sets. There's a VMAX
has
version.
been. Yeah, I do feel like it has been a while. Well, especially because like Kyurem is from the black and white era,
Yeah.
right? And so it's been just kind of out of the games, out of sight, out of mind for a little while. Especially when we had such a long stop in Alola. So here we are. Kyurem is back, and I like it. Kyurem doesn't, I feel like, get enough love.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those legendaries that doesn't get enough love. And like we're hitting the cycle now where we've seen a Mewtwo in Pokemon Go, and now
Yeah.
obviously we've seen all the brand new Pokemon Zeshin, Zamazenta. Like they have had so many cards recently, but we're now cycling through. Okay, so we did Dialga, Palkia. Okay, so now we're straight back into black and white, so we'll do the black and white legendaries, and then maybe we'll do X and Y legendaries, which I've got a good feeling there's going to be X and Y legendaries in the last set. Just a hunch, but we'll have to wait and see.
No, I think your hunch is good. I like that we do get this more cyclical like rotation, I suppose, of some of the more popular Pokemon. Like I still think that Kyurem is still a popular Pokemon, but yeah, I'm also excited to see if we get like Xerneas or Yveltal or something like that coming up soon. Zygarde though, like nobody knows Zygarde. Nobody uses Zygarde. It's okay.
When was the last time we had a Zygarde card? I don't think it was that recent, but I do remember it just being a rare. Or just a holo. I don't think it was
Champion's
any...
Path. It was
Champion's
Champion's Path and
Path.
it was hollow.
You're right. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And that was like a super common card too, because every Champion's Path pack had a holo in it. So
Yeah, and that card I think was like a cent. It didn't sell
yeah.
for like anything. Like that was
It was the Machamp as well. The Machamp. Oh my god, the amount of Machamps I have for Champion's Path is stupid. I remember everybody complaining about Machamp in that set because it was like, okay, it's a cool card. But now I have like 50 of them. What do I do with them?
yeah.
It was just like
But
a
the
cent
champ
holo.
like the Grimmsnarl and the Zygarde. Trying to remember the other hollows that were in Champion's Path, but I just remember them feeling not special anymore. And
Yeah.
especially when Champion's Path by itself was that one set that everybody wanted, like the Charizard the V Max, and they also wanted the shiny Charizard V because that was that set, right?
It was.
They were chase cards, and they were
Yeah.
Charizards, so everything else felt just a little weaker if you were a collector when you pulled it.
Yeah, because that Charizard V was in the Elite Trainer box as a promo, but then if you wanted the Shining version, which was the Black Charizard, that was like the ultra rare. That set, can we just, okay, brief tangent away from Lost Abyss cards and Lost Origin cards, but Champion's Path, all I remember from that era of cards, this is when everything was blowing up People just did not like that set at all. It was like, oh, it's just kind of a throwaway set. They whacked some Charizards in here. That was it. And it was like,
I I agree. I think I'm on that same side of the coin only because I'm pretty sure you can't play with the Champions Path cards. Like I don't think, or maybe you can because I think Marnie was printed in that set. There was something really odd though about the fact that they reprinted really popular TCG cards that were being used in the meta. Like they had a new Professor's Research and they had a reprint of Marnie. And then on top of
yes.
that, the set was really small, and the only big chase cards you cared about were Charizards.
No,
I
okay,
feel
so
like everybody is like over it. The
I'm
whole
looking at it now.
Charizard
There's
thing.
no Marnie in that set.
Oh, it's not Marnie.
No,
Oh.
the only full art trainer in that set was Hop. I'll quickly whack it up. Obviously, for our audio
What?
listeners, I do apologize, but I'm gonna bring it up on screen right now. Unless you wait, it wasn't a full. Unless you're not talking about like a full art. I'm trying to go through
No,
everything
no,
now.
no, no.
Oh no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you are right. Marnie is in Champion's Path. Yes, it's just not a full art. It's just a regular trainer.
Mhm.
Yeah, which was very popular at that time because of the TCG. And yeah, Hot was the only full art, and then it was the Charizard V, which was the shiny version, and then you had
Yes.
the Rainbow Charizard VMAX, which was the VMAX card from Darkness Ablaze.
Yep. So those were the two big chases, and
Yeah,
then that was it. Like everything else really felt like much less impactful. And so yeah, I guess the set was
kind of.
playable because I think you can. I think this because like yeah, there's no
Yeah.
reason they would reprint the Marnie and the Professor's Research without the idea that you just had more of them running around the TCG marketplace. But
Yes.
yeah, then other than
It
that,
it was a
it
weird
did
one.
feel like this was a weird one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was only 73 cards, and then it was obviously all those secret res and stuff too. It had
That's typical of like the fun sets though, because like that's the same size as
yeah,
like the Pokemon Go kind of deal.
yeah, for sure. I
But
think people were just kind of annoyed. I think it was more like people were annoyed the fact that they were like, okay, to make this set pop and to make this set sell, especially at that time too, where you could not pick up a Champion's Path ETB for less than $100.
yes, that's right.
We're gonna whack two Charizards in it. I
Yeah.
distinctly remember from that time people selling the contents of an ETB without the packs or with all of the cards because they didn't pull the Charizard, or maybe they did pull the Charizard and they just didn't include it. It was just all of like the junk and not even the Charizard promo. And I'm like, come on. Like, are you buying like 50 ETBs just to like open to find the Zard? And like, to be fair, the Charizard was expensive. It's gone down. It's still about $200 though. I was just shaking my head that whole time. That was that
Yeah,
whole time.
this was at the peak as well,
Yeah,
where scalpers were just such an issue
yeah,
that I think that just rubbed salt on the wounds of a lot of collectors and a lot of players where, well, great, I'm so glad they're reprinting usable meta cards, but we can't even buy them to open them because they're $100, yeah, 100 plus dollars for an ETB. So that's just silly.
it was ridiculous. And now, do you know what's really funny too? All like ETB prices are regular price now. Like every single one. They're not getting instantly
Oh, I
sold out on
know.
Pokemon Center website. Then like the local game stores that I've been to, they're like between $40 and $50, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. It really
Yep.
do be like that now. Obviously, increased production cost. No, sorry, increased production runs and stuff like that. But still, like, I cannot believe people are paying like $100+ for Champions Path boxes at that point. And we've done this before, but I'm just going to mention this one line: $300 Vivid Voltage booster boxes. Yeah, what a
Nope.
meme.
Stop.
What a meme.
Stop.
Anyway, back to Lost Origin and
Yeah,
Lost
anyway.
Abyss. Yeah, there's a Durapion V-Star in this set, which is going to Lost Origin, which is pretty cool. I really enjoy that. And then, Rose, we have this thing. Don't know what they're called yet. We have the Radiant cards in the Pokemon Go. What were they called in the Kyogre, Rayquaza? Were they Shining? Shining? No.
I thought they were
Radiant. Radiant?
I
No.
think they were also Radiant.
They
Am
were alternate art,
I?
but they didn't have Radiant in the title, right? It was just like Kyogre, but they had the... God, oh my god. There's so many like...
Uh,
Yeah,
Music
I'm
Rare.
getting... I'm
Oh,
going crazy as
shiny.
well
Is
now.
it shiny rare?
Something like that. Were they
It was the
in Vivid Voltage, right?
Hall of Legends, right?
They were
Oh no,
Amazing
right.
Rare.
Oh, Amazing Rares. Yes,
Amazing
that's
Rare.
what you were
Okay.
talking
Amazing Rare is what I'm talking about. Yep, there you go. With the splash. Again, I'll quickly bring up the Celebi. That was the Amazing Rare. I thought these were really cool.
about.
A little bit extra. Bang for your buck in a pack if you pulled an Amazing Rare. And then pulled like a VMAX or like a V. Which
Oh yeah.
is really cool because they replaced the reverse. They're doing something similar by the looks of it in Lost Origin. They've got this very like Lost Orangey Galaxy thing with Porygon 2, which is on the screen right now. This like, I don't know how to describe it, like little like plumes of things. Looks like Galaxy kind of stuff.
Yeah, it does. It looks really cool. I've never really seen that before where they've got like the kind of the color bleeding from behind the card art, I
Yeah,
guess, onto the actual card itself. So that one does feel really cool. Like that could definitely be something to look at for the future. Um, but I guess it's kind of like how we have the TGAs right now that fill a
uh-huh.
reverse hollow slot. I wonder if that would be also in a reverse hollow slot.
Maybe, yeah. I'm
Hmm.
thinking they might do something different with English because I'm actually studying the card now and it's still like just a common. It's not like an amazing rare. So,
Okay.
you know what it might be like? Do you remember the plasma cards from like the X and Y era? Do you remember those? And they were like
Yes,
blue border and
I
stuff like
do.
that. That
Yes.
were just like, oh, they're just commons or like they can be uncommons, they can be rares and stuff like that. It might be similar kind of thing, but yeah, normally they have like a special rarity if they're like this, but it looks like in Lost Abyss they're not. But
Okay.
we'll have to wait and
Yeah.
see. I also wanted to bring up on screen, I'll leave links for this stuff in the comments, of course, but this is an amazing artwork. Dreepy, done by Tomokazu. Very, very surrealist art. I love, absolutely love. And Dreepy gets a really nice surrealism kind of card artwork here. I think it's really cool. I like the 3D
It's
stuff,
really
Rose,
cute.
but surreal stuff, that's where I'm at.
Well, I like that this has been a constant theme for a lot of the card art we're seeing from the more recent modern sets. Even when we would look at like Astral Radiance with the Dialga and the Palkia, that was very surrealist to me, where they just because the theme is time and space, it makes a lot of sense for some of the cards to maybe go in more of a direction like that. So
Yeah, it's really
pretty cool.
cool, and like you said, a consistent thing that's been happening over the past few sets where we're going to this time and space stuff. It's pretty sick. Okay, let's have a look at the cards that everybody kind of wants to look at, which is the secret rares. Oh my god. Okay, we talked a little bit about it before we hit the record button, but some of these secret rares, and from Pokemon, we've not seen in a long time. I'm looking at you, Aerodactyl. When have we seen an Aerodactyl card? Not in an
Oh
absolute
my
age. Quite
gosh.
literally a prehistoric Pokemon in the TCG, as well as existing as a prehistoric Pokemon. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's amazing. I mean, the fact that Aerodactyl got its own like pack art for like the fossil set, the second generation
Yep.
of uh like the Pokemon
Third.
cards and third. Oh right, because
Jungle was second.
Jungle came second. Anyway, well what are the OG, I
Yeah, yeah.
suppose, Pokemon card sets. But I mean, Jaws, like take a look at the art of the Aerodactyl card. Like it's
It's so
absolutely bonkers.
cool.
It's so good.
The
It's
the
so good.
special artwork recently has just been unreal, like next level, and this just kind of proves it. Aerodactyl in a prehistoric like world. You have Archeops there. You have some Omastars down in the bottom left. Some Tropius is
Yeah.
just kind of just walking around. Rampardos at the back, just running each other. Like, yeah, just unbelievable stuff. We saw one of the fan favorites was the Machamp the other day, like carrying all those baskets through a market. That
Yes.
was pretty cool. And yeah, just every single set is just kind of blowing me out the water. And on top of that, this is, yes, it's like the special like secret or whatever, but it's only a V. And that's like not as hard to pull as like a V max. Like I'm like, God damn, like okay. They're really giving us a whole lot.
It is, but I think this is gonna end up taking a secret spot. You know, if I'm
It
at
is a
least
secret rare. It is a secret rare, I will
yeah,
say.
so I'm looking at it from, like, just the because it does say SR at the bottom. It's 106 out of 100 for this Japanese set, and so this kind of speaks to me that it will have to be a card that you pull for,
Yeah.
like, the arts and the alt arts and whatever towards, like, the end of a set.
Hang on a sec. So, hmm,
And then on
do the
top of that, we
secret
might
rares
even
have
get
a sub
TBAs.
rarity? That is what I'm. This is the question. Question of the week, everybody. Do
Hmm.
secret rares have a sub rarity? Because in my head, a V secret rare would be more common than a V max secret rare. Is that a thing?
Yes, I think no, I think you're right. I think you're
Yeah.
absolutely right because I think that there's always like there's going to be a you know, if you scroll down a little bit there's a rainbow V star secret rare Aerodactyl. And so that I'm almost certain will be harder to pull
Yeah.
than the alt art Aerodactyl V.
Yeah.
Just because it is like a secret rare, but also on top of that is a V
Exactly.
star. I think you're
Yeah.
right. I totally think you're right about that. But like the full art V for the Aerodactyl would be easier to pull than the secret rare alt art
Yeah. I mean,
Aerodactyl V.
unreal sub rarities, but we do get
Yeah.
mad variety. They do have a Rotom as well. The secret rare for that, the ultimate art, which is really cool. Again, really nice artwork. It's got every single appliance in the photo.
Mhm. It does. Oh my gosh, I could see that. And I love that there's like the little bit of a call to like all of the different forms, obviously, that Rotom can take. Um, it's just super neat. I think there's even like a Pokemon catcher or something that's like in the card itself.
Oh
There's
yeah,
just
there
so
is.
many
Yeah,
fun
and a
surprises.
repel. I didn't even notice those
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, what the hell?
It's it's just really cute. It's so neat and I feel like when you look at the alternate art cards, like just the card artwork, you can tell whoever created this had so much artistic freedom
Yes.
and came up with something that was just incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I get when I look at like the Aerodactyl card, for example. Like you know somebody had so much fun putting this together.
Yeah, because you're giving the Pokemon like so much personality too, and like, you can
Yeah.
only really do that with these alternate arts. Because I'm looking at like one of the V's now, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's cool. It's very colorful. That's what the V's are supposed to be about. Mad like not a solid background, but it's like blue and green and purple for the Drapion V, and it looks really cool. And he's like really bright, like contrasted, but
Yeah.
yeah, just the personality in them is insane. And for the Berserker, like having the little bottle caps in front of him, like he's super happy, like he brought them to
Yeah, look at
you.
that smile.
It's ridiculous. Like so much personality in these cards. I will say a little less personality with the Giratina one, but again, sticking on the like I'm not sure what personality you can derive from Giratina here because dude's basically a god anyway. But
True.
again sticking with this weird surrealist stuff is awesome.
Yeah, it is incredibly cool. I just love that they have started to push the envelope a little bit with what it means to have artwork on a card. And it's not that they didn't do that before, but I feel like, especially when you have the trainer gallery art cards that have been in some of the more recent sets, those have also been really fun. And I
Yeah.
just am so blown away with how far the TCG has come in these modern sets to just yeah, like provide that personality, give a little bit more like natural history context to Pokemon and what they would look like just hanging around. So it's
Yeah.
neat.
I like seeing Pokemon that like the card art like tell a little bit of a story, and that's what I like
Mhm.
about some of the very old sets. One card that specifically speaks to that. Oh my god! If anybody has this card artwork in their head, props. But it's Nidoran male from Skyridge, one of the common cards. He's just kind of chilling, but he's chilling in this underground temple-looking thing with a Zapdos stone statue in front of him. And like, I know that's very,
Oh,
very out there,
yeah.
and I will try and find a photo to bring it up. But dear lord, like things that tell a small story from a photograph is unreal.
Oh, yeah, no, I know exactly. I
Oh,
actually
found it.
pulled it up. It's so
Oh, it's
cute.
Nidoran
Like,
female. Sorry.
yeah. Well, it's still amazing. And like that's exactly like I'm so glad you're able to call that out because I feel like this card is such a perfect example of how they've been able to do that in the past, but obviously having like a full canvas of card to work with is going to grant you
Yeah,
so many more possibilities.
yeah, and that's the coolest thing about it is that they've had this kind of storytelling previously. Like 2003, Scourge came out. Like, come on, that's over
Mm.
almost 20 years ago. And now they were able to work with the entire card. Obviously, newer manufacturing, ability to print higher quality cards. Like, yeah, it is really really cool. Yeah, we're also getting some full art trainers in this one, and
Yep.
for the life of me, Rose, I cannot remember where these trainers are from. Like Lady, obviously that's very like generic. We see that kind of character in a
Oh,
lot of the
oh, oh.
games.
Well,
But
Koras is from Team Plasma, right?
there it is. Yes.
Right? So I think we're getting am I right about this? Yeah, he's from Unova. Yeah, he's Team Plasma.
Okay. That does make sense with the blue.
And then I think I might be wrong about this, but I think Fantina is also from Unova and is a gym leader.
There we go. Okay. Big brain.
Am
Very
I?
big brain. That generation, I
I,
will say, eludes me.
oh,
So
wait. Yeah, well, actually, Fantina makes a lot of sense because she was in Diamond and Pearl, but I believe she was also in Black 2, White 2. I think she was she a, oh no. I think she was like the Elite Four or something
okay.
in that.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, we'll go with that because that's fine because it's more than I know. Like I said, that generation eludes me by a ton. We also have Thornton as well, and it's good to see a lot more characters. We talked about this in a previous episode, Rose, but it's nice to see a lot of characters that aren't the more popular generations 1 to 3. I'd say the most obviously generation 1, the Kanto, etc. Everybody knows who Blue, everybody knows Red, Giovanni, etc. But a lot of the characters that have been not necessarily at Pokemon's height, like peak in popularity. So it's
Yeah.
really awesome to see that. They get their rainbow card, of course. We also have a collapsed stadium gold rare, but the gold rare I'm looking at, just saying, Giratina V-Star gold looks crazy.
It does. It looks so good. Like, I
This
don't
is
know, I've
this
not
gold
been, like, a
also.
huge
So
fan. Yeah, I think that's why it, like, sticks out so much. Because I think some of the other gold V not just V-Stars, but just kind of, like, the gold secret rares, for Pokemon have been not as impressive to me,
yeah,
but this one looks so good, and it's because of the color coordination for sure.
yeah, it fits perfectly. Speaking about fitting perfectly, we'll move on. Special delivery Charizard promo. Pikachu fitting perfectly on the back of Charizard. There you go. What a segue. Insane.
Woo!
So, like I said, I'll leave links down for this below. And Poke Beach, shout out. Massive work compiling all of this kind of stuff together. But after almost 2 years, I'll just read the front line for the audio listeners. For after almost 2 years, the special delivery Charizard promo is finally going to be released in the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, which is insane because I remember this coming out or like being previewed back when Pokemon was at its height once again, and we are finally seeing this
Yes.
card cropping up. And I do believe, Rose, that this card was accidentally sent out to people at one point because they're. Or it might have been the Bidoof one. Can't remember. I remember one of them accidentally getting sent out. But
Yeah.
we are finally getting this card. And it's a card from 2020. And you have to sign up on the registration page to be in with a chance to get a code to use on the website after you spend $20. So you spend $20, use the code, and then you get a card sent to you. The code expires at the very end of this year, but I am assuming the codes are starting to roll out. Oh yes, 2 copies of the card then accidentally leaked via Pokemon Center
Oh.
shipments in 2021. There you
Oh,
go.
no.
Okay, so they did accidentally release. I did think so. Yeah, so they turned up in people's, like 2 got sent out by accident, which is insane. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat that they're also doing it as kind of a promotion for the opening up of like the newer Pokemon centers. Because like Pokemon Center US has been around for a while, but it's really been I think Canada and the UK
Oh,
that
we've not
have
had one. It's insane.
Yeah, like y'all just got yours, I think. So it's nice to be able to like share the love a little bit and have something so special to kind of commemorate an occasion like that. But
Yeah.
I have no idea how many of these they have made and how many they're going to give out.
Don't know. Make sure you do sign up if you do want your hands on this, or like it's with a chance of your hands on it. It's not guaranteed, I believe, even if you do enter your
Yes.
details and stuff. So that's worth keeping in mind. You got to go do it, and you might get a code. But yeah, it's great because obviously all the Pokemon centers, the physical locations in Japan, get a special card. I was lucky enough to go around the time when Shibuya Pokemon Center was opening, and I got a Pokemon Center Shibuya Pikachu, which is the graffiti one, which was quite cool. Me and a couple of friends were able to pick up those, but we don't really get that in the West at all. So having the online stores commemorated with these cards is pretty epic. And what not better than Charizard, of course, with Pikachu riding on his back, which is pretty epic.
Cool.
Another strange thing that's happened recently, Rose, a few days ago, the Pokemon company have come out with a potential show. So they've released a casting call with a big application that you have to fill out with photos, a little video of yourself, and lots of like why are you into Pokemon, etc. But they're looking for players and TCG enthusiasts of all ages to participate in a fun, uplifting Pokemon card game project in LA. So I'm going to apply because I currently live in LA, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
But
do it.
this is completely out of left field. But with the rise of popularity again in Pokemon, honestly, Rose, not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised that we're seeing something like this either. I don't know like what kind of show this could be for, but it really is very exciting. I mean, I got a chance to work on the Pokemon TCG Top Deck Academy YouTube series, which has been really, really fun because it does kind of teach people the more basics and some of the advanced strategies that go into actually playing the TCG. But I would love if this was like this is my headcanon right now, Jaws.
Okay.
Is this for a live action Yu-Gi-Oh style Pokemon TCG with holograms card
Oh
series?
my god, that would be insane.
I've been wanting something like this for literally forever. Where like, let's say you were doing like a fun like April Fool's YouTube video, or you just did this because I think it's a great concept and this is a free idea for anybody watching or listening. But could you imagine just like sitting down at a table across from somebody, playing at your cards, and you go, I play this Bolton V, and I'm going to attach an air balloon to it. And finally, for my last move, I will attach a lightning energy. And then like just calling out everything
Like,
that you're doing in the game. Like it'd be so cool.
I mean, that's like next level VR kind of jumping into an actual
I
field and then
know.
cards pop up. Like, okay, this needs to happen. Oh my god,
That's my head canon.
I want to see the card being placed and then the Bolton or whatever Charizard,
It's like
Pikachu, whoever,
hologram here.
boom, Dreepy like comes out just kind of chilling. You know, I mean, that would be sick. Next level stuff. If this is something to do with that, Rose, insider leak information. You go to Rose first. I don't know. That would be hella speculation if that was what was actually happening. But
Oh, this
it
is
looks pretty
hyper
cool.
speculation.
Yeah,
Because
of
like,
course, of
who
course.
knows what this is for? Like, it's for all ages. I feel like when I think about it from like the Yu-Gi-Oh perspective, that show wasn't always for like kids. I swear there are some
Yes,
moments in that show that
true.
are just like not kid friendly. Like let's look at like all the shadow games that happened during the Battle City arc where you know Kaiba and Yugi were battling on top of a building with glass against like two of the rare hunters. Don't ask me why I know all of this. But then like,
Yeah.
you know, the gimmick of that battle was if one duo lost their life points, they'd both fall through the glass into the shadow realm. Can
Is
pretty
that for
confidently
kids?
say
Maybe
that
not.
that's not for kids, because in I know for the Japanese version of this, there was no shadow realm, you just fell.
Yeah.
L plus
Okay. Yeah.
ratio plus, like, you fell off, and you probably also didn't survive that. But, you know, for US television, that definitely changed.
Well, maybe they do something like that in the Pokemon trading card one, but I can imagine it's probably a lot more kid friendly,
I think it
because
could
it is for all ages, and it does have a brief like thing. Oh, you know, if you're a parent applying for your child, obviously, you can also get involved. So don't worry about that, which is really cool. I can imagine they want a selection from each kind of age range and maybe experienced people in the TCG, maybe not some experienced people that just kind of love Pokemon as a whole. So that's pretty awesome. If you live in the LA area, you can apply.
Yeah.
Again, we'll leave a link to this down in the description below. It is a long application though, I will say. Just be warned. Lots of photo taken. So there you go. Okay, just around the corner, Rose, there is the Pokemon Unite first anniversary, which is awesome. Like, has it been this long? It doesn't feel like it feels like it's been out for a lot longer than a year, but we're coming up on the first anniversary of Unite, which is
I
insane.
know. It's so weird because I feel like, yeah, like on the one hand, it like just released the other day, but on the other hand, apparently it's been out for a year already, and that just is absolutely mind blowing to me. But it's cool. I just saw the announcement video. Super Teeds did an incredible job with the voiceover for that. Like, hats off. It was such a fun listen and such a fun watch to see what's coming around the corner. I mean, we've got new Pokemon, we've got new game modes. It's very exciting.
It is super exciting. They just released Glaceon, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or it will be in a few days. And they're also releasing one of my favorite Pokemon, Tyranitar. So I'm actually
Yeah,
super
me
looking forward to
too.
that, which is going to be great. They're also doing a ton of like holoware things, so I can imagine you're going to be able to pick up some free licenses for a couple of Pokemon and then some cool holoware. There's Pikachu in fashionable style Pikachu, Lucario concert Lucario, Blastoise with his firefighters, Snorlax with bedtime style, which sounds amazing, and Sylveon with a checkered style, which is kind of cool. That might remind me of like old Vans. Do you remember the old Vans shoes from like early 2000s? Everybody had them, the checkered. So maybe
Oh yeah.
maybe Sylveon rocking some 2004 Vans. Don't know.
No,
We'll have to
I
we'll
think
have to
I
wait and
think
see.
all of these skins actually have already been released. And I think these are just
Second
like
one?
if you missed out, then I think you get a chance
Oh,
to
you're
get them for
right.
free.
Yeah,
Because I think
no,
I
I remember the
have the
firefighter
Sylveon
one.
and Checkered style one.
Oh, okay.
But it is really cool that these are just being given away. Like, if you
Yeah,
just log into the game, you can get these hollowares for free, which is really, really cool.
it's super cool. And there's like lots of incentives for like friend invitation campaign.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff. Cerebee's got like the complete breakdown, which I'll leave a link down for. So a ton of missions being unlocked, a new Pokemon, and it's been an entire year, which is ridiculous, which is absolutely ridiculous. There's also I'm just reading this now. Apparently I skipped over this in my brain, but there is also a Pokemon movie. So Pokemon movie summer 2022 release and distribution. So there will be a distribution for the Pokemon movie.
Ooh.
Wow, I looked at the year anniversary thing. This is news to me. So there's a World Cup Pikachu, which is from it's only in Japan. No, it's only in Japan. Oh, there's a Latios as well. Latias as well. Oh, so there's a 25th anniversary Pokemon movie celebration. We're probably going to get these just different somehow. Maybe we'll get them. Not sure. But there's also a Jirachi, Palkia, Dialga,
Yeah.
Happiny, and a shiny Zacian and Zamazenta, which is kind of
Neat.
cool. Which is actually already no, that already got released. Sorry, this is I'm scrolling way too far down. That was the GameStop one. My bad. And the Happy Me
Yes,
one
that did
has
get
also
released.
already been released. That was the Pokemon Center one. I'm just scrolling too far. But yeah, so it's Dialga, Palkia, Jirachi, Latias, and World Cup Pikachu, which is going to be between August 11th and September 30th in commemoration of the 25th anniversary. So cool. More
Pretty
event Pokemon.
cool.
Very epic. I always love to see one of the Latias. Latias would be my favorite one. So that's pretty sick. But there you go. There's some hot off the press news, which I didn't even read.
Ooh,
Sick
good
stuff.
stuff. Big
Um,
stuff.
Rose, last thing we'll talk about before we end today's episode is VGC and TCG registrations open for London.
Yeah, so the World Championships in London are right around the corner. They're going to be coming up in about a month. And with it, there are some really cool festivities that other people can get involved in. So you missed the window for getting your championship points to be invited to the main event of the World Championships. However, if you were lucky enough to snag a spectator pass that went out in a couple of waves yesterday, or you are going to be in the area and maybe you had a friend that picked one up for you or something like that, there are other events that you can get involved in. And so there's a couple of things. There's the last chance qualifier for the Pokken Tournament DX, and there's a last chance qualifier for Pokemon Go. So if you are there, you have a spectator pass, you can just go play. You can go register for these things, and then maybe you get a chance to actually compete in the World Championships. But there's also opens. And so opens are a completely separate event from the main event of the World Championships. But there's some really interesting controversy about this because with the TCG and the VGC opens, they start on the second day of competition. So if you dropped or you just didn't make it to day 2 of the World Championships, you can go play in the Open. And so what I feel is really weird about this is that there are championship points awarded for your performance in the Opens, but there are not championship points rewarded for the World Championships and your finish there. Obviously, there's prize money, there's the glory of like actually being the world champion on the
Of course.
line, but for the top competitors that rely on getting a certain amount of championship points or being kind of one of the top earners in a quarter of these championship points, they can start snowballing really quickly to get another travel award to go to another event. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on like this I think this is your first time hearing about this system of like having an
Yeah.
open alongside the world championship. So like what are you feeling about this? You
Yeah,
hear that?
so it is a little bit strange that they don't award some points for going to the World Championship and doing well, like determining your placing. But then in concept, it actually kind of makes sense because you don't want people to snowball a high placing from a World Championship into another one. So it's like the same competitors. So that makes
Mm.
sense. But then if you add this open bracket for day 2, if you didn't do well on day number 1, then those points carry over. So yeah, it's kind of strange. If those points didn't really carry over and it was like an open tournament and then it was like some prize money at the very end, like it would make sense. But then like this big snowball that happens because you didn't make it to Worlds might benefit for you for next year. But then it also, I can definitely see both sides of the coin because you didn't make it. Okay, so let's start building up some points for next year to help you make it for next year. But then also like you went to Worlds, maybe you came 4th place and you get nothing, like you get prize money, whatever, but you get nothing for next year. You're like, wow, I'm really behind compared to these people that were able to play, but I wasn't able to play because I made it so far. It is a
Yeah.
little bit strange. So it feels like if you have the open bracket, you also need, and to gain points there, you also need to gain points at the World Championship that will equivalate to the open bracket or maybe a little bit more. But then like I said, I can also see that being a problem because you don't want the same people getting a crazy amount of points rolling into next year because they did well in Worlds.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, cause like I think we're trying like I think you're looking at it from the perspective of trying to keep like competition fair for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think like there's also like a couple of other viewpoints that people probably need to keep in mind for this, which is one, I don't think it's actually a horrible thing for the same top players to show up.
No.
And so one of the reasons why those travel awards are really cool is because it kind of rewards like the previous international champions to go to the next one. You know, maybe they
Yeah.
get an automatic invite or something, or like the number of points that they get from winning the international is enough to keep them snowballing into the next quarter of championship point earnings to get to the next international championship. And then we've got really cool storylines of like, wow, EUIC winner Eric Rios, for example, is playing at the North American International Championships. How's he going to do? He's hot off the tails of like, you know, getting a regional win, getting an international win, doing a bunch of top cuts. Now he's at NAIC. Like, how is that going to go? And so it is cool when you have that kind of deal happen as well for like worlds because like who wouldn't want the world champion to show up at the event, right?
Yeah. True.
um but it I think it is like that's where other people kind of look at that and go, well, yeah, maybe that isn't fair because it incentivizes you in some ways to, if you don't think you're going to win the world championship, then maybe you just drop out and you go play the London Open instead. So I think that's where some of that controversy comes in of like, well, am I actually incentivized to do well at worlds if I'm not
Yeah.
winning?
If you're not
um
if you're not feeling confident or you're not winning a lot of your games as decisively as you want, yeah, you could just tank that first day and then just quickly build up some points in the open, because it will technically be easier competition compared to like the
Supposedly,
world.
yeah.
Yeah, just because it's like the world championship run, you're thinking like that is the height, the tippity top. It is a bit strange, and I'm definitely on the side of like, look, you should probably earn some in worlds to gain for next year because you've done exceptionally well, like definitely. But then I do see the other argument, keeping everything almost a level playing field. But then right now it's not, because then open gains more points. It's a bit of a weird situation. I wonder if they do come up
Yeah.
with some sort of statement, or like very end, like tack on some championship points for the world tournament.
It's possible. I mean, I think the last viewpoint that I just want to point out as kind of more of a positive thing about the open, because we have had a lot of kind of like, well, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? From the perspective of like, I'm not speaking for the company here. I'm just trying to look at it from maybe something that they are seeing here that is a benefit of having an open, is that it's open to spectators. You
Right.
know, you didn't qualify, you're not playing in the world championship, but you're a Pokemon fan. And so maybe you've shown up to check out what the competition is as a whole. Maybe you're unfamiliar with how the circuit operates. And so you see this opportunity to play in something that is an open tournament that's pretty cheap. It's like 30 quid, quid,
30 pound, yeah,
$30.
30 quid for the masters, and then 15 for senior and junior.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's pretty cheap
Yeah.
comparatively to just like the registration that it takes to do like a regional, for example. Sometimes that's 65 US dollars. Um and you know, if you're already at the world championships, you've already paid for all the travel. This is just
Yeah.
kind of an extra bonus. And if you do well and you get some championship points, maybe you're a little bit more incentivized as a newer player to just see if you can do another event in the next year and actually try to qualify for worlds yourself. So that's the way that I see it, as like this is a very good thing for people that are not
Yes.
heavily invested and are a top player in their respective game.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. Like always, including more people and it being open to more people is always a good thing, because you might find a weird diamond in the rough where it's like, wow, this player is actually sick. What the hell? Like it
Yeah.
came out of nowhere. They're rocking up and like, oh, I do pretty well online. Like maybe you're Master Ball Division or whatever, and then you're like, wow, I'm actually kind of dominating right now, and it's a new passion project for somebody. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see if the Pokemon Company do end up coming out with something that incentivize making it to worlds. No, incentivize, or like give the world's competing players a little bit something more in terms of points to then roll over for next year. We'll have to wait and see. I can imagine, especially with Uproar, normally you're going to have to answer it eventually. It can't just kind of be scooped under the rug. Sometimes that does happen, but hopefully if people do feel super strongly about this, hopefully the Pokemon Company will end up coming out with a statement, but we'll see. Cool. So yeah, leave links to this in the description as well. Last thing we got to do, Pokemon card of the week. A Pokemon
Oh yeah.
that is not normally shown off in the TCG. Not sure when the last time I've seen a Macargo, but it is a Lost Abyss Macargo with the little swirly galaxy things. Rose, I'm not gonna lie, I picked this because Macargo. Do many people remember Macargo? Maybe they don't, but here he is in his glory, just chilling in a forest. Maybe burning it down. Not sure what he's doing there. Normally they're in caves, but yeah, I just thought the artwork was kind of cool, and he has kind of a funny look to his face. He looks like a little bit
Oh,
sorry for himself, but he looks like a bit caught off guard. I like it.
he looks a little bit like Yoshi.
Oh my god, he does.
Oh my god, it's just
What?
the face. It's just the face in him looking over to like the side that it just he looks like Yoshi.
He does. I didn't even
Like that.
notice that.
That's just a
Oh my
Yoshi.
god.
Fire
Okay, that is
Yoshi.
amazing. Red Yoshi are from Yoshi's Island.
Yes, exactly. No, I
Perfect.
love this card. I'm so excited that we get a chance to feature like Macargo of all things. I think the last
I know.
Macargo that we had was a few sets ago. If I'm remembering this correctly, it was definitely in one of the modern Sword and
Yeah.
Shield sets. It wasn't too long ago. I think it was
Well,
2021 though. So
I'm actually
Was it
googling Macargo right now. Oh, it's Mag Cargo. Yeah, not Macargo. Skyridge, Vivid Voltage, Fusion Strike. Actually, he's appeared a lot more than I thought he would. Okay, Celestial Storm, which is a reprint of something. Primal Clash, Great Encounters. Unseen Forces, that's what he's a reprint from. Oh, the artwork at least. Great Encounters, nice one. Okay, yeah, so he actually appeared a lot more than I thought he would. But there you go. Still a Pokemon that I don't think is the most popular, but I think he's pretty cool. I think Macargo, he's pretty chilling. I recently picked up an EX Team Rocket Returns Macargo, so I thought, yeah, I kind of was still thinking about him. He was still in the back of my mind. So
Nice.
there you go.
It's a Pokemon.
It's a cool Pokemon that not everybody remembers. There you go. That is it from us today. Rose, have you got any final words for anybody out there?
I do not. I'm just excited about the news to come, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely been a longer episode today. We're hitting the 45-minute mark, but yeah, there's been a lot to catch up on. I will propose this to Rose in just a minute. I haven't actually talked to her about this yet, but there's going to be some different formats of the podcast coming up soon. Keep an eye out for that. But other than that, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're listening to us on Spotify, really appreciate you do over there. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.